Both of my Airbnbs have a big problem, and I have until 4 p.m. tomorrow to fix it. So over the last 2 weeks, I've had guests reaching out to me saying, hey, the garbage is spewed all over the garbage area, cans are knocked over, it looks like an animal got into it. So at first, I thought it was Steve, the great white Pyrenees dog that would come and visit while I was building the home. But I messaged his owners and they were like, oh no, he's all locked up. So when I found out it wasn't Steve, it prompted me to get this security camera here and over at the Cedar Hollow, because both of the cans were getting broken into. And about a week after I installed the camera, we got our first hit. Turns out there's a baby black bear that comes down the driveway here, works his way over to the garbage cans, and has an absolute feast with the cans here. And when he's ready for dessert, he works his way over to the Cedar Hollow and starts diving into those cans. Plan for today is to turn this into a bear-proof enclosure. You can see I've already started with pouring the concrete a couple days ago. Ultimately, I don't know if this is gonna work. I've had a handful of coworkers say you need to buy actual metal bear-proof boxes, but I think I can do it with wood since it's just a baby bear, but I could be totally wrong and the bear just tears the thing apart and still gets into the garbage, and I'm out $2,000 from Lowe's. Gosh, I've pretty much sold my soul to that company. Future editing Devin here. I just got an update from the camera and this story does not turn out how I think it's going to. It gets pretty good. Fortunately, he is a baby bear, but I don't want him to develop a habit of coming here every morning like he has been the last couple days. And because every time he rips apart the garbage, I have to drive all the way out here from Seattle, drop off a bottle of wine with the guests, like, hey, sorry, there's garbage all over your driveway, clean it up, and then the bear just comes back the next morning. So we're gonna fix this before the guests check in tomorrow at 4. You can still see some of the remnants from when I've cleaned up the last couple days. Let's get these cans out of here so I can show you what we're working with. So the plan is to take this little pad, build 3 walls around it here, and then to have 2 gates that open out this way. So initially I thought about going to Lowe's and just getting one of those tiny little sheds that you just plop down here and putting the cans inside that. But I think that looks like crap. So I'm gonna try and do it by building it myself, and I think it'll be way sturdier. I mean, what kind of little Lowe's shed has anchor bolts that mount down to the concrete slab? And the kicker is, once I finish it here, I have to go do it over at the Cedar Hollow as well. So this slab is about 3 feet by 5 feet wide, which is just enough to have a can here, can there. This slab is about 4 inches thick, and I framed it out with 2x4s going all the way around the perimeter. And then I set these anchor bolts, which I just turned a bolt upside down, jammed it in the wet concrete, and now these things absolutely don't budge. It's just like when you're framing a house. And I have 7 of those all the way across the slab, and that's what we'll use to hold the walls down to the concrete so the bear can't just go knock the walls down. By the way, to all you concrete snobs, I did put wire mesh in here and I floated it up about halfway in the concrete. I know when I poured the hot tub over there, everyone was lighting me up like, that thing's gonna crumble, because I will be petty like this. I had so many of you guys on Instagram lighting me up saying this is gonna fail, and it is perfectly level and there's not a single crack along this. So we're gonna measure this plate, and that's gonna be 40 inches. Okay, so before we keep rolling here, I do have to thank the sponsor of this video, which is AG1. For those of you that have been following the channel for a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of AG1, and I work them into my morning routine every morning. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health, which I know that so many of you guys following the channel also have busy, crazy lives and like to build stuff and are always doing something like me. And that's where AG1 fits in perfect with my day-to-day routine. On days like today, where I'm getting messages from Airbnb guys saying, oh, you got a bear at your property and there's garbage everywhere, and I have to get this done before the next set of guests checking in. It totally skipped my mind to take my morning AG1, which worked out great because I always keep the shaker bottle with me, and I always keep a few of the on-the-go packs in my car, which are great because all you have to do is add a little splash of water in there, pour it in the shaker bottle, screw the cap on, shake it on up. AG1 is a unique blend of 75 ingredients that's tested for over 950 contaminants. So that way you know you're getting a research-backed, high-quality product. Another benefit of AG1 is that it helps to provide extra focus and energy throughout the day. With all the B vitamins and magnesium, it helps to provide a sustained, even-keeled energy and has pretty much eliminated the need for coffee for me. So if you guys want to try drinking AG1 for yourself, Go to drinkag1.com/DevinLaura or scan the QR code to get 1 year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 and 5 AG1 travel packs with your first subscription. Thanks AG1 for sponsoring this video. So all I'm doing is lining up on the front face, side, and back over there. I realize if this were a house, I would get it dead on, but it's a garbage enclosure, so it doesn't really matter. So then we'll just hold it down there, give it a good smack so it'll put the imprint of the bolt on the underside of the board here. And same thing over here. You can see the little holes right there and right there. But these two plates are in, we can go measure out what the back wall plate will be. So now I'm gonna pull these plates off. We're gonna go build walls over here. We'll bring the walls back over, stand them up, and connect them together. I have to get this done tonight before it gets dark because I've been checking the camera and the bear comes first thing in the morning and first thing at night. And I got like an hour and a half till sunset, so let's see what we can do. 74 inches. That's how tall the back wall is gonna be. So I cut the back wall piece to 74, put the little bevel on it there because it's gonna be a little pitched roof, almost like what you see on the bin there. All right, so now let's go cut these other two for both of the sides. Even though I'm an engineer, I still hate doing math. So to figure out this angle here, I'm just not going to. And I'm just gonna screw this board, which is the same width as that board there, screw it end to end here, and then I just take the measurement from there so I don't have to do all the SOHCAHTOA crap from high school. And there we have it. That's the first wall right there. It's all ready to be stood up. I'm gonna go blast out this wall. I pre-cut all the pieces, and then we'll go build the back wall right here. Shoot. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. I'm realizing that was super cheesy, but I do appreciate it when you guys subscribe. I think we just hit 70,000 subscribers, which is wild. Yeah, every like really helps to get these videos out to more people. And I'm about to announce the next big project here soon. So you're gonna wanna be following along. 3 walls, we're gonna stand these 2 up like that, stand the back wall up and go throw them and bolt them down to the foundation. So now I'm gonna take these washers and these nuts and crank them down to anchor these walls to the foundation. So now that she's all anchored down, we're gonna level it out, which, wow, that's like perfectly level right there. If it's level on that side, that means it's gonna be level on this side because this wall is built perfectly square. So we got the walls up. I'm gonna set this beam that connects these 2 at the top, set the roof plate, and we're gonna start building up all the cedar siding. Let's go get one more little rafter coming across. We'll put the roof on and then we'll start building the cedar up. This whole structure is still pretty wobbly, but the way it's gonna work is once we start putting the cedar cladding going up the walls, those act as shear walls so that it won't shift side to side. At least that's the concept. But I'm gonna go fasten this guy down, put the tar paper on top so that if it does rain tonight, this OSB isn't getting soaked. After this, we're gonna go start installing all the cedar cladding. We're gonna take this tar paper here, these little nails, and well, I can't find my regular hammer, so don't judge me. So that it works as a vapor barrier between the shingles and the plywood we just set. So we're almost to the fun part here where we can start putting these cedar planks going up the wall like this. The only thing I gotta do first, because you see there's nowhere to screw over here, is put backing in here. So I'm just gonna build this out with some of my scrap 2x4s and just build it out just like that, too wide so that I have something to screw into here. So something I found out when I built my mailbox sort of the same way as this is these guys are 5 inches wide. So when you put them over a 2x4, it perfectly flushes out like that. And then you can have another one die in on this side. So it looks really clean if you just have one run the face and then one on either side dying right into this fascia board. Wow, that's actually really, really close. It got super late and I ran out of light last night, but I finished, not the whole thing. I know you guys typically see me cut away and you're like, dang it, he's done already. But I still have to clad the whole outside, the back. But now that we have all the wood along here, the ceiling and both sides, we can start to dive into the door. We're gonna have one door here, and then we're gonna have a center latching so they'll both like fold out, and then we'll leave a vent here at the top.
Dabbing with someone leaving a vent at the top was a grave mistake.
Plan is to take these hinges, run 3 of them up this wall, 3 of them up that wall, and then build the 2 doors and hang them on. So let's go build the doors. That way when it's shut, the wood will perfectly plane out here, and it'll open and then max out at 90. Wow, I probably could have got away with just 2 hinges. That's crazy, but we'll just do 3. I just made a pretty big mistake. Let me show you. So when I measured for my concrete down here with the whole spacing of the bins, I did not take into account these sideboards here. So these are like super tight. And I also didn't take into account how thick these boards are in the back. So I had to pull off this last panel here, which it'll be fine, because this will all get cladded in the back, but still kind of a bummer that these won't be able to sit flush up against the back wall. Oh, it's the worst feeling. It's not gonna look any different from the outside. It's gonna look really clean, but my inner OCD-edness just wants this perfect, and it's gonna be like 99% perfect. So kind of a bummer, but that's how it goes. All right, just kidding. I actually figured out a solution to make both of the cans fit while the door shuts all the way. So over at the Cedar Hollow, I have 2, what are they, 64-gallon bins, and over here I had 296, so I just flip-flopped 196 with a 60 or whatever it is, and now they perfectly fit. My inner OCD is happy. Look at that backboard all the way in. Now I'm gonna go build the other door. Okay, I'm using one of these little guys as a shim. Pull those out and pray it fits. Hey, it fits. Want to see the real moment of truth? That's a good door. Last step here is to take this bracket, and that's how it's gonna work. Hopefully, the bears aren't smart enough to push this back, open the door, and then just have a feast. There we have it. We have a fully functioning door. Really heavy duty at that. Works just like that. And then on this side, sorry, I didn't show you, dude. I put in this little bar latch, and then I used this roto hammer drill to go drill into the concrete to make a nice little hole that guy latches in. So you can see that's fastened with the concrete, and this door, just like that. Hopefully that's enough to stop a bear. I'm gonna go cut a whole bunch of 41s. All right, let's do it. Okay, so I have like 30 minutes to knock out the roof here. I've finished all the cladding all the way around, but I gotta go shingle this roof deck and do all the flashing. So here we go. I got this angle flashing that we're gonna put along the lowest part of the roof, and then we'll work our way up the slant of the roof here, because you always want water to almost shingle over any flashing. So here we go. All right, she doesn't shake anymore. So I'm gonna tuck this flashing underneath the ice and water shield. Got like 20 minutes left, so I'm gonna put one more sheet of ice and water shield over this, because mine was a little bit short here. You can see you want this stuff to be overlapping here. So I'm gonna overlay one more sheet across here and then do all the shingles and then put the trim piece over top. Okay, I just finished the roof. I'm gonna show you everything real quick, and then I gotta pick up this massive mess before the guests get here in 16 minutes. So here is the whole roof. There's flashing underneath. You can see it on the side right over there. There's flashing that laps here. I'll probably adhesive each of those nails just with a heavy duty roofing silicone. But yeah, this is all watertight now, and I gotta go clean up this massive mess. So thank you guys so much for following along. Please subscribe to the channel. I got a couple huge projects coming out here. I didn't quite finish the cedar hollows, but I'll just do that another day. But yeah, I love how this thing looks. All right, I'm gonna stop you right there, Smiley. So they look great, but are they actually functional? And the answer is kind of. So the first couple days, well, which by the way, I ended up building an identical structure over at the Cedar Hollow, put all the garbage cans in, and thought we were good to go. First couple days, I didn't hear any messages from the guests. I checked the cameras and I saw the bear circling around a few times, but he would just end up leaving. So I thought I had smoked him. But he must have went to bed after a couple days and really thought long and hard about this, because he showed up the next day with his Spider-Man suit on, and he just scales the door, pops his arm over, grabs a big old bucket of candy and shreds it all over the driveway. So I headed out to the Cedar Hollow, I cleaned it all up, gave the guests a bottle of wine, said I'm sorry for the garbage everywhere, screwed a couple 2x4s over the vent at the Cedar Hollow, and that seems to be holding them off. I didn't get a chance to do it at the Pacific Bin yet, so I checked the camera the next morning, and they're multiplying. There's 2 bears now that showed up to the Pacific Bin. Fortunately, that same day I came back out, put the boards up, and that seems to be stopping them. They haven't been able to figure out the latches, they haven't been able to open up. So I think that's the fix. I'll pretty it up by putting some nice fascia boards on there. It has been an absolute nightmare the last like 3 to 4 weeks. Fortunately, the guests love it. It's really cool seeing a bunch of black bears. They're not hostile, so as soon as the guests like open the door at the home, they just come flying off into the forest. There's no safety hazard or anything like that, and honestly, guests think it's cool to be able to wake up and see a bunch of trash monkeys playing around. I'm just tired of going out there every day after work, dropping off wine and cleaning up garbage. Now it's been about a week since they were able to get in last, and I think we've finally solved it by putting those boards over the vent. That's the end of the video, guys. Let me know in the comments below if you think I should have just went and got the metal bear boxes, or if this was worth the journey. It was kind of a fun video to make. Also, in related to channel news, I'm going to be kicking off my YouTube memberships program, which will give you early access to my videos. You'll get them before the whole rest of the subscriber base gets them. You'll get priority replies. I'll be shouting out all new members at the end of each of my videos, as well as a list of all existing channel members. This also includes member access to photos and videos of behind the scenes stuff before it actually makes it into the final YouTube video, and it'll be priority replies to your comments. So if you comment, I 100% will be getting back to you. And ultimately, I didn't know how I felt about launching this. I never wanted this to feel like a paywall type thing to see my content. I genuinely just love showing you guys what I'm going through and helping you out where I can. I guess this is just more so for those of you that want to show your support here. It does take a ton of time to edit and shoot these videos. Just building those structures would have taken way less time if I didn't have to move the camera all over the place, edit everything up. I genuinely love doing it, and this membership program is just for those of you that are interested in supporting me and helping to turn this dream of becoming a YouTuber into a reality. I'm still working a full-time job as an engineer while I'm managing all these homes, and having to edit on here is a lot of extra work, but I do love it. And you know, maybe someday this can turn into a full-time gig. So I really appreciate all you guys that have been following along. It's crazy that we're already at 70,000 subscribers. I think the goal would be to hit 100,000 by the end of the year. Absolutely no pressure, but to any of you that do end up becoming channel members, I really appreciate it, and I'll have some fun behind the scenes content coming out here soon.